Whoa! Yo, Hawkeye Izumi! Who this? Because he knows. Him cutting his hair, there's a cost. There's sadness, feelings, and etc. Like stresses involved. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. Welcome to my detailed psychological analysis of Horimiya episode 6. Happy New Year everyone to my fellow yappers. I hope 2026 is a year of self-care and self-compassion for all of us. Remember, you matter. You are worthy. Sit back and I hope you enjoy.
パパいつまでいるの？
そうだな。
I see that even with Sota, the youngest son, Hori's dad has no presence, no respect, no authority in the household. Which is interesting because I feel like Hori's, what I thought was a single parent's household, which I was proven wrong because the dad was indeed in the picture with the wedding ring, which means they're still legally married. I'm not sure how romantically involved they are, but I'm sure the show will reveal more. In a sense, it does defy the social trope of Japanese households. Japan, as a general blanket statement, is extremely paternalistic, extremely patriarchal. Men have all the socioeconomic leverages. Men tend to have all the leverages and all the upper hands and all the social authority, so to speak. And Japanese women are known to be very conservative, very conformist, very almost submissive. Of course, everyone is different, but generally speaking, that is the culture. In that sense, Hori's dad defies that trope because he does not have this paternalistic, patriarchal vibe. And he's very, very casual with his children, with his wife. And again, he doesn't really have that authority that many Japanese dads and Japanese men as head of the households do, which is interesting.
全く同じ質問を私からもさせてもらうわ。
なんで?
Yo, as soon as it said that, the mom was asking, I'm wondering the same thing. Honey, how long will you be home? Because maybe we don't need you? Do I have a home here? What's his job?
京介、宮村来たよ。
え、マジ？
お邪魔します。
Oh, it's the glasses. Yo, the dad is back with that. Remember whispering into Izumi's ears last episode right after seeing him fixing his hair, and now he's back with the skinship, physical contact. What a interesting dad. Yeah, what a guy.
宮村くんじゃないか。
はい。
確かにすごい汗だな。外暑いしな。
はい。
It's actually cold sweat because he is in the presence of Hori's father. No matter how deadbeat, how absent, how whatever he is, since again, I don't know too much about the father yet, besides the comedic portrayals about who he is or who he appears to be. At the end of the day, that is his girlfriend's father, potentially future father-in-law. The immense pressure. That's why he's having cold sweat. In addition to the heat, wearing his full-size or full-sleeve winter uniform because the tattoos, piercings, all that. Sure, granted. But that's a baseline. He's used to it by now. But what he's not used to is Hori's father or being with Hori's father.
ちょっと風呂でも入るか。
突然？いえ、そんな。
嫌なのか？
いや。
あ、そう。じゃあ入ろっか。
Yo, where is Izumi's autonomy? Where is his own will? He's like, oh, you don't want to bath with me? Oh, you do? Cool, let's get in. And of course, bathhouse or sauna is extremely common in Korea and Japan and even in China, especially Japan. They're known for their bathing culture, right? But at the end of the day, it is extremely intimate for Izumi to bathe with his girlfriend's father, who he just met at the girlfriend's house. in their bathtub versus going to a public bathhouse. It's very different, no matter how prevalent bathhouse culture is in Japan. So no wonder Izumi's sweating, dude. What would you guys do? If you say no, you might be hurting your girlfriend's father's feelings and you just met him. But if you say yes, it might be tremendously awkward and a lot of pressure. And what do you guys talked about? Butt ass naked with your potential father-in-law in a tiny bathtub in your girlfriend's house. What a scenario, huh?
何恥ずかしがらなくていいって。
Yo, whatever they're watching, this is inception of anime. The anime they're watching within this anime is about this guy coercing this girl, pushing the girl against the wall, which is exactly parallel to what Hori's dad is doing to Izumi, pushing him against the corner, so to speak, in terms of bathing together. Interesting parallels. Oh, unexpected.
別にそういう極能的なあれじゃないですか。
素朴な疑問なんだけど。
The only difference is Izumi cannot punch Hori's father. But, you know, who can punch on behalf of Izumi? Hori. The daughter shall speak with her fist. As soon as dad came home, that's how she greeted him. Interesting household.
宮村くんのは揃ってるんだね。
ごめんなさい。もうこんな時間。さすがにそれは。
Your girlfriend's father is inviting you to stay over as a high school couple in Japan. Is Hori's father, is her dad American? Is he Americanized? Is he westernized? Has he maybe spent time studying abroad in the United States? How is he so liberal and so outgoing with his daughter's son? Does that speak to his astute observation ability, his perceptiveness that, hey, I think Izumi's a solid guy. I approve of his relationship with my daughter. Maybe it speaks to that, the comfortability. Maybe the dad is mysteriously good at judging characters, aka Izumi in this case. Maybe just being thoughtful because it's late. But it's so funny that Izumi has a matching set of chopsticks and more respect, so to speak. And there's more welcoming vibe for Izumi in Hori's household than her dad. But again, he's been absent and sounds like his work is very demanding and it's hard for him to stay over. The biggest competition.
優先順位おかしくね。
お兄ちゃん泊まってくの？
いや悪いし。
ねえねえ、
No one is acknowledging the dad. Yo.
僕の部屋で寝ようよ。
いや、宮村くんは今で父と寝る。
He's cold sweating.
じゃあおやすみ。
So he is.
ごめんね。
Again, aside from the comedy, sounds like Izumi staying over. But the real question that I've been thinking a lot about and I've been asking and speculating since the very episode, where is Izumi's parents? Who are they? Where are they? How neglectful are his parents? And how much trauma of negligence does Izumi represent? Because he's staying over at his girlfriend's house, sure, but the show is not revealing any gestures or actions of Izumi checking with his parents that, hey mom, hey dad, I'm staying over at my girlfriend's house. None of that communication is happening. So many questions.
こんなおっさんと一緒の部屋で。
いえ。
京子と一緒が良かった。
What a
宮村く
dad,
ん
yo.
さ、あの子のどこがいいの？
Here comes the talk. Here comes the interview. The meaty
人
stuff.
を見た目で判断しないところです。
Hmm.
京介さん？寝た。
So, yeah, I have a very mixed feelings about the dad, and based on every family member's reaction to having the dad home, I could tell that there's not a lot of trauma and they're very comfortable. And aside from my deadbeat comment, just because that's the vibe he's exuding, from the surface, actually, there's not a lot of attachment struggle I'm sensing. I can sense that Hori's actually feel very secure with the father. Even Hori's mom seems very secure with her husband. That's why they're so casual with their comments, ignoring him, making fun of him, roasting him, and all that. Because remember, as I talked about, this is so antithesis, antithetical. Sorry guys, after the holidays, my brain's not fully awakened yet, but my brain's coming back. Anyway, what the household represents is very antithesis to the general Japanese households that's talked about. It defies the social tropes in every facet, right? Case in point here. So it's very secure. So it's a very heartwarming household with the comedic elements, although it took the show 5 episodes to introduce the father in the picture. And the only question that the father really wanted to know from Izumi about his daughter is, what do you like about her? And Izumi's answer was, I like her non-judgmental nature. And we saw a quick glimpse into the father's smile, almost like a smirk, but he smiled and then he passed out. So I think there's two folds there. Level one, I think he's happy about Izumi's character, that he is a solid person, because the hallmark of the relationship and the most favorite thing is his own daughter's non-judgmental nature. That speaks to Izumi's non-superficial personality, and he has depth into his character. 2, maybe he's satisfied and fulfilled by that answer because that's how he and his wife raised Hori. To be non-judgmental, do not judge a book by its cover, to be open-minded, to be a very kind, genuine person. So I'm guessing those two are the reasons why the father smiled before passing out. But yeah, he's a cool dad. Seemingly deadbeat, but very cool. Again, he defies a lot of the norms and social tropes because paternalistic society is not the kindest and the charitable to women. But I could tell that the dad is a feminist, and he's very for women, and he's very for equitable households in terms of social leverage and all that I talked about. Literally what I just said. Everyone is so comfortable with the father, with the dad, that Hori literally stepped over his back to open the curtain. That speaks to the very subtle but super, super solid, almost unshakable foundation of psychological and emotional safety. Because without feeling safe emotionally and psychologically with their father, with their families, you will not be able to be so casual, so informal, almost abrasive towards their dad. That's only possible because the father is secure and he makes everyone feel super comfortable, super safe. So in that sense, he's a good dad.
中学のジャージかな。
行ってきます。
そこまで送ろうか。
She's wearing a quick comment. Izumi's comment or passing by comment was, oh, she's wearing her middle school uniform. That speaks to how comfortable Hori is being around Izumi, and that's how comfortable she is despite Izumi sleeping over. I don't know if this was the first time he slept over, but the fact that she is wearing her pajamas, aka middle school gym uniform, I'm guessing that's her pajamas. It speaks to their closeness, and yeah. Again, they started officially or unofficially dating last episode, but I'm sure quite some time have passed since then, and the relationship is blossoming more and more and more. And again, I'm looking forward to Izumi's personality change and his personal development journey through Hori, and also Hori's personal development journey through Izumi. Because I think, as a clinical psychotherapist who specializes in relationships as one of my fortes, I think the biggest and the most important hallmark of a healthy, thriving relationship, whether it's interpersonal, relational, or romantic in this sense, is does your friends, in this case partner, does your girlfriend, does your boyfriend, does your spouse, do they make you a better person? Do they challenge you? Do they help you grow? Do they bring you closer to your better version every single day? My wife does that for me. I do that for my wife. And in this case, I hope Hori and Izumi do that for each other.
来たら潰す。行ってきます。
Follow me and you're
お邪魔しました。
dead. Yo.
行ってきますよ。
行ってきます。
行
Wow.
ってらっしゃい。
Dude, Hori's parents, you guys might as well adopt Izumi at this point, dude. Like, they literally asked him, hey, when you leave in the morning, you say, see you later. That's not them calling Izumi's lack of mannerism. It's not that Izumi did not have mannerism in that moment. It's just, I think, it seems like this is the first time he stayed over, just from that comment. So again, it's not Hori's mom calling Izumi out, but rather Hori's mom reminding Izumi that, hey, although we are not your parents, we are not your home, you can treat us as such. When you sleep over, when you're over with us, feel free to treat it as if mikasa, sukasa, right? Spanish, my home is your home. That's the sentiment. That's why, hey, say see you later, because that's what you do when you're leaving your home. So maybe Izumi does not have an emotional home at his physical house because of the suspected negligence, but at least at Hori's house, he can retreat, he can come home, he can rest assured because it has become an emotional home. And that's the significance of what the mom was saying.
あいつらさ今
Yo!
出てこなかった
1組の堀彼氏ってのに
Who are those paparazzi classmates, huh? Obviously, Hori was, I think, high in demand, an A student. She's pretty, she's popular, she's nice. She's on student council committee. I'm sure she was highly sought after. But I guess they just unofficially announced their relationship status because of those paparazzi classmates saw them coming out of the same door.
堀
Man, that's
お前
massive
セント
scandal.
と一緒だろすっげえ頭いいの
Yep,
なんか
called it.
ねえよだったら俺のがよくね
堀さん宮村くんと付き合ってるらしいよ。堀見る目ない。
Oh, Hori's gonna intervene. Oh,
好
maybe
き
not.
勝手噂しやがって
二人の耳にもさ、
Yes.
入ってるよね。
Yeah.
教室で大声で話してんだぞ他のクラスでも話してるやついるしくそ
Amen. As you guys know, I am a professional yapper, and we are a nation of yappers, right? Yappers unite. But the only type of yapping I am strongly against, and I will never endorse, is gossip. You're yapping about someone's back without giving them a fair opportunity to defend themselves with what the content of your thoughts and whatever gossips. It's not fair. It's very cowardly. And with all those guys passing by, oh, I'll be such a better match for her. Why the hell is she dating that emo-looking guy? Whatever. Sure, girls are one thing, but for guys to say that, you guys are even more cowardly because you never had the balls to ask her out. We miss all the shots we never take. As cliche as that is, it is true, especially dating. So the fact that he is dating Hori, aka Izumi is dating Hori, means he is a better match. How do we know that? Because they're dating and you're not. What's the point of dwelling over things that never happens? Especially if you never tried. Bunch of cowards, right?
せっかくやっとさ、宮村。
So wholesome.
よしよし
堀ってさ宮村と付き合ってるって本当か
本当だけど。
マジお前に振られた男たち泣いてんじゃねえのそんなに振ってないわよまだまだ堀さんはさ気にすんなよ宮村
あいつらがバカなだけだから
Facts.
堀にも言ったけど、堂々とね。宮村、私は気にしてないから。
I want to quickly talk about the concept of identity formation because this is very significant. Sure, Izumi is surrounded by very, very great friends, just like Shindo from middle school. His friends are higher in quality than quantity. And I think that's amazing because meaningful relationship is about depth, not width. Of course, there's situations for both, right? Sure, they're saying that, hey, don't worry about them. Just be you, keep your chin up. Of course, they mean well, and those are valid words. And I would say the same thing to my friends if this were happening. At the same time, psychologically, it's not that easy. If you look at the stages of development, there's a stage specifically, right? It's actually called identity formation and industrialization. Again, it's a stages of development. And one of the stages is identity formation versus industrialization. That stage of development is typically for people from age 12 to 18. That's typically the demographic for that stage. What does that mean? From age 12 to 18, our biggest priority in life is to create our identity, our sense of identity. And what is industrialization? Going to school, peer relationships, social group. That's what it means to be industrialized in terms of stages of development, clinically speaking. How do you become industrialized? You go to different groups, settings, school, and so on. With that respect, according to the stages of development, our perceptions of who we are, our sense of identity, is actually largely predicated on our self-esteem. And where do we get our self-esteem? When you're in the age group of 12 to 18, which is the age group that Izumi is in and Hori, you get your sense of self-esteem from other people, your popularity in school. Do you have friends? How's your grades? What's your socioeconomic status, right? All these things contribute to our identity formation. And all of this, in turn, directly influence your self-esteem. So because all the guys are saying that, oh, why are you dating that loser, and all these gossips and horrible things that's being said, it's going to, of course, impact Izumi's self-esteem. And what do we know about Izumi thus far? He already struggles with extremely low self-esteem. So his sense of self is very shaky to begin with. And in addition to that, all these gossips is going to even shake his foundation even more. And that's how we lose our sense of self. That's how we get depressed. That's how we get lost. That's how we question ourselves. Did I make the right decision? Is it right for me to date Hori? Is Hori going to be okay? I knew this was going to happen. I knew I was going to drag Hori's reputations to the ground. I knew she's too good to be with me. How do I know that? Look at all these gossips. Look at what everyone's talking about. I know for a fact these are some of the thoughts that's going through Izumi's mind. Why? Because his identity formation during this industrialization school stage is extremely, extremely impacted by perception of other people. And ideally, we can transcend perceptions by others by focusing on our own perception of ourselves, because perception of self always transcends perception by others. At the same time, when you're that young, especially in high school, it's not that easy. Because when you're in middle school and high school, everything is about peer relationships, and everything is about the perceptions by those peers that we deeply care about. It's the same in adulthood, but especially during this 12 to 18 age gap, it's extremely pronounced and very, very, very stressful.
あれ旦那来てないじゃん。
知らないわ。
おいおい。なんだよ石川。
Ishikawa is standing up for Izumi against those gossips. And in a sense, actually, we can argue that those guys who are spreading these gossips, saying that why would you date him, all these things, you can actually consider that as bullying. Because what is bullying? Bullying is a violation of someone's safety, emotionally, psychologically, and physically. And what they're doing is violation of Izumi's privacy and his emotional distress. So we can also argue that Izumi is a victim of bullies with all these gossipers, just like in middle school, just like in elementary school. So in that sense, this might even bring back flashback and PTSD response for Izumi by bringing back to the loneliness, social isolation, everyone making fun of him, everyone pointing fingers at him, which prompted him to start piercing. Because as I talked about, in a piercing tattoo culture, that pain is very common to feel something as a coping mechanism. Whoa! Yo, Hawkeye Izumi! Who this? New year, new me. Is that that's gonna be the title of this episode, yo? Although it's on Patreon, but yeah, new year, new Izumi. Hawkeye Izumi. Wow. I take everything I said back because it sounds like Izumi chose the other route, a lot more empowering, healthier route by being adaptive, by adapting to the pressure, because he's like, well, I'm not gonna break up with Hori just because all these gossips. Let me own it. Let me bring out my sexy side. Let me bring out the side of Izumi that no one has saw. They're gonna judge me by my looks. Let me work on that. Because if they're judging me by my looks, the solution in a sense lies within the look, right? And of course, I know some people have been asking me to react to the anime lookism. I have actually watched that show many years ago. But yeah, obviously lookism, the show is about, it's a social commentary on physical attraction, people judging you by your looks, people with better physical attributes, who are better looking, have more privileges in life, and so on. But that's what Izumi tapped into. He's like, you're going to judge me based on my looks? You're going to stress me and Hori out? Okay, let me show you. New year, new me.
おはよ
Sexy Izumi, baby. Let's go.
宮村くん、どうして髪切ったの？あ、へえ。ねえ、なんでいつも冬服なの？
Look at that. As soon as he changes appearance, all these girls who are talking shit, they're swarming around him. They're like, oh, Miyamura-kun, why did you cut your hair? Huh? Oh, it's summer. They're talking about nothingness. This is all just empty small talk. And why are they having small talk around his desk? Because this has never happened since this show started. This has never happened in Izumi's life. Why? Because everyone judged him by his look. The only person who didn't, well, there are a couple. First one in middle school was Shindo, and then in high school was Hori. That's why he's dating her. That's the answer he gave to Hori's father. Why do I like her? Because she did not judge me by my looks. Compare that and contrast that with everyone else. All these girls. They're only around him because now he's a more handsome, better looking guy. Man.
寒がりで
ピアスの穴すごい。いつ
You
開
see
けたの？
that? All the things that they're making fun of are the things now they're asking about. Why? Because they're judging him entirely by his cover, aka his look.
すげえ氷の地方みたいになってる
寒いね。
Yo! Yo!
今だけだって
ここ寒い。
宮村
Remember what I say, external weathers is always reflections of internal mood and feelings in animes. Because I thought Izumi was being short and brief with responses with those girls, because it's shallow, it's superficial, it's small talk, he doesn't really care to. I'm sure that's in part, but I guess the biggest reason is the death stare, the stare of the storm, because Hori is right behind Izumi. He felt her presence.
シュウ今のところお前が一番のリアクション対象だよ
なんだ宮村か髪切ったんだ夏だしイメチェンか
ありがとう夏ってそういう時期なのか
え
つな。ねえ、堀。っておい、大丈
Dude, so one of the girls literally took a picture of Izumi because he's become Hawkeye Izumi, sexy Izumi, right? And then freaking Hori went a step beyond. Instead of telling those girls F off, she literally somehow accessed her Doraemon pouch and whipped out an actual Canon camera, or Nikon, I'm guessing it's one of those two brands, and just freaking up close. So again, aside from comedy, one comment I'll make is, again, Hori's personality shows up once again. Hori is such a pushover, and we already talked about her avoidance, anxious attachment style in last episode, right? Although I've kind of updated my analysis because it seems like the father is very secure, and for how loving and wholesome the family dynamic is, that means that her attachment style is not too overly avoidant and overly insecure, just based on the dynamic that the dad has been showcasing. But here, what's the easiest thing to do? The most logical thing for Hori to do is to tell those girls, hey, stop harassing my boyfriends. You guys were talking smack about him and you guys are only showing interest because now he's better looking. F off, right? But of course you could say that, well, that's not really appropriate. It's not really feasible given the Japanese culture and how conformative and how overly, almost in an obedient way, overly respectful. So maybe that's not realistic, even if it's high school. Okay, granted. But still, you can say something. But she's not doing all of that because of her avoidance, because she's too nice. She has no boundaries, or very limited boundaries. That's why instead of drawing boundaries on behalf of Hori and Izumi, what does she do? Comically, she goes the other extreme by trying to outdo the harassment that the girls are showering upon Izumi. Does it? You guys see what I'm saying? She chose the other way out. Sure, that's good for comedic content, but it really, really spotlights Hori's struggle to establish boundaries.
お邪魔しまーす。
誰だお前。変わったね。失恋？どんまい？
だったら連れてこないでしょ。
Yo, the dad is so funny.
何
Shindo.
何？
女か？
いえ、
Dude, wow, Sota really is the dad's son, huh? Like, look at this look. Wow.
友達です。はあ、何？え、飴？お、よしっと。前のじゃねえよ。
進藤君、髪はすぐ伸びるって。しかしすごいね。これ全部飴なの？
This is a hallmark of true friendships. All the people that actually freaked out were his very close friends. Shindo, right? Toru, everyone. Everyone that freaked out. Everyone that were shocked in a comical way were his true people. And the people who are not shocked, but rather impressed, they're not real friends. Because, again, judgments. Does that make sense? The shockness is not external judgments. It's them actually processing and reconciling with this new version of Izumi because they all know what Izumi and Hori's been going through with the school gossips and so on. So every single one of them, although Izumi didn't explain why he truly cut his hair, he said it's summer to those girls around his desk, but everyone knows that's not the real reason. Well, it took him until junior college and high school to cut his hair, although he survived all those summers before with his winter outfit? Of course not. He cut his hair because of the stress, because of this gossip bullying, because he wanted to take ownership of the external judgments by doing something about it, which is very empowering. That's the reason why everyone was shocked. That's the reason why Shindo was air quote grieving over his hair loss and that, oh, my Miyamura is gone. Because he knows him cutting his hair, there's a cost. There's sadness, feelings, and etc. Like stresses involved.
ネットの検証に当たってさ、これでもクラス全員に配って超減ったんだ。堀さん、何味好き？
何でも食べられるよ。
ザクロ味。
飴。
堀さん、それ何？
なんだろ
What's
う。
that?
チーズ？
チーズ。
Cheese.
進藤、確かチーズ嫌いだよな。
チーズ食うくらいなら俺は財布をドブに捨てる。
そうか。ほら。
宮村があんとかしてくれてる。もう
I love their bromance.
この二
He
人の
just swallowed.
うまいか？
うまいわけねえだろ。
宮村のバカ！何それ？何味？
粘土？
粘土？
まずい。
Oh,
あれ？
what?
はあ？お前が食わせたんだろ？
What just happened, bros? Bros, brothers, brethrens. What just happened? Why did he pick I got goosebumps. Such a peculiar timing to kiss Hori. Why now? I mean, I'm happy for them, but such an odd timing. I did not see that coming. Wow.
取られちゃった。
何味？
He stole my candy, aka their first kiss. I guess that means it's their first kiss?
ほら。
It's Hori flavor.
もういいよ。
What flavor does love taste like? What flavor is honeymoon? Is it sweet like honey?
本当だ。 粘土味。
クラスの女子
So he kissed her to taste the taste of that clay candy? What? Izumi, you're also an odd guy. No wonder Hori's father loves you so much and likes you so much because he's also very odd, very eccentric rather. Izumi, you're not eccentric, but you're just interesting.
あんま寄ってこなくなったな。
物珍しかっただけだよ。
The novelty
正
world.
直ほっとして。
何知り合い？
うん、違うと思うけど。
Who that?
なんで睨まれてんの？
Right.
わかんない。
でさテレビ見てたら急に出てきてお姉ちゃんも私も
Oh, she's still
どう
thinking
した
about
の
the
ホリ
kiss.
あいや 彼女
It's
です
the
けど
girl. Third cameo.
何か
Yo, that's hilarious.
失礼します
That was fast. Dude, doesn't she look like Izumi's like sister? Same hair color. This is what I'm saying. Like, are they related? What is going on? And she's stalking Izumi, following him around. She looks young. Maybe a freshman in high school. What is going on, dude? They look similar too, actually. Are they half siblings? What's going on? What? Huh?
えあれ二股
違う。
いつ別れるんですか
Yo, what is this hallway confrontation?
組の沢田ほのかですまた来ます
もういいよ、こ
You don't have to come back.
れ。なんなんだ。
Yeah, what the heck?
あの子2年生なんだ
Oh, she's right there
名
again.
前なんて言ったっけ沢田ほのかです
Yo.
何がしたいのよしつこくつきまとったりしてだってじゃない
I think, okay, maybe she's not Izumi's mysterious sibling, but maybe she has a crush on Hori. I think she wants Izumi to break up for Hori. Interesting.
いさ、
Maybe she respects her.
だって好きなんだ
Called it. Called it.
ひょろひょろでピアスでこれのどこ
What a twist!
カくん。ごめん。
Yo, Ishikawa freaking Toru was probably eating popcorn by his locker, just eavesdropping, hearing everything, all this tea, all the drama. He's like, what a plot twist. This is great. Interesting.
白かったからずっと聞いてた。
この子どうにかして
澤田さん、堀さんを話。
うるさい不良不良
The writer's great. I like how the writer is constantly humbling Izumi and keeping him on his toes. As soon as Izumi experienced skyrocketing popularity for the first time in his life with his change his haircut, bringing out his alter ego, Hawkeye persona, all the girls are swarming around him. And within 10 minutes into the second half of this episode, this girl comes up, she's yelling at him for breaking up with Hori, and she confesses to Hori in front of him, saying that, hey, I like Hori so much. I like Hori Senpai so much. It's not fair. You're a no good nobody. Look at all these piercings, right? Back to back. So as soon as Izumi's sense of self, his self-esteem went up, speaking of identity formation from earlier, the writer is like, that's enough. Time to humble Izumi back on his ass. And boom, comical. Yo, Toru is freaking group chatting everyone, probably summoning all their friends to grab their popcorn and candies and snacks and just watch this drama unfold.
男だったら頭突きしてるよ。
私の方が好きだもん好きだもん
Whoa.
先輩はこの
Wow.
来ないけど
出てこないの？
もう面白いこと言っちゃったぞ
The show's over.
なんだか十分面白いけど。ハリ先輩、これ調理実習で作
What
ったんで
is
す。うるさい宮村、黙ってよ。
黙ってられるか
堀先輩から普通
What is going on?
よれだ教室
You think the writer purposely made the girl kind of physically similar looking with the same hair, even similar eyes as Izumi, and made Hori the center of this three-way triangular relationship? You think that was like an Easter egg / subtle comedic element by the writer? Why did she, or yeah, why did, not she, why did the writers make Izumi and the girl so swarta? Why did they make them so similar?
堀さん彼氏のお願いですここは教室に戻りましょう
He's freaking out. Izumi experienced 3 new things in this episode. One, his new haircut, which created skyrocketing popularity, and the stopping of all the gossips. So mission success. 2, first kiss. 3, being in this involuntary triangular relationship with the lower classmates who happens to be a girl. So it's not really your rival. So you can't really have a fight and fight it out like you did, like what Izumi did with Toru, right? It's a very precarious situation. Anyway, 3 major first experiences for Izumi. I'm sure even for Hori too, actually.
さあどうもいつも急に現れるのやめろ
堀先輩は
用事があるから先帰ったよ
じゃあ私も帰
What? Yo, this is borderline harassment. Dude, she's gonna freak out if she finds out that freaking Izumi sleeps over at Hori Senpai's house. How are you gonna take that, little girl? Can your heart handle that level of heart-crushing discovery? Brace yourself. What an interesting situation.
同じ方向なのよ。
こっちのセリフだよ
Do they live in... They live in the same apartment complex? Again, look at how similar they look. What is going on here? Same floor? What are the writers doing? They're neighbors? They're neighbors? Can there be a bigger coincidence and plot twist than this?
隣か
Wow.
マジ
Dude, for real.
どうしよう。鍵、家の中だ。
Huh?
いただきます。
Dude. Yo, Izumi has to compete for Hori's attention with this girl. And he's still gonna treat her to dessert, cake, because she's locked out. Dude, Izumi the nanny. Poor Izumi, dude. What a day.
宮村って誰でもすぐ家の中に入れちゃうの？
そんなに頻繁に入れないよ堀さんだってあんまり来ないし
True.
へえ。もしかして思ったより堀先輩がうまくいってないとか。
俺が堀さん家に行ってるだけだからな
Oof.
あっそう
And he sleeps over.
ねえ、宮村って何人家族？
親と自分で3人
Oh, okay. So first official reveal, he's a single child. Interesting, right? Because the stereotype for single child, they're spoiled, they get flowered with attention, they get whatever they want. They tend to be less considerate, more selfish and self-centered. Not because single child are bad. Obviously, this is a general blanket statement. Everyone's different. But generally speaking, those are the stereotypes because they did not learn to share their things. They did not learn to fight for attention, compete for attention among siblings growing up. And again, you're the single child, so you are the center of all attention. And yes, it's a stereotype, but there's a lot of validity there in terms of personality traits for a lot of single child. But Izumi defies all of that. Seemingly, he gets no attention, completely neglected, super considerate, definitely not selfish, Far from being self-centered. He's a giver. Does that make sense? This show does defy a lot of tropes, not just dating and romance tropes, but like cultural tropes, like social tropes. Just like Hori's father that I talked about, but also here, Izumi defying the tropes of a single child.
妹がいると思ったのにな。
なんで？
Because you're a
面倒
giver.
見がいいから。
Yep, called it. Exactly what I said.
ちょっと、何なのよ。
That's exactly what I said. He's good at taking care of people.
私さ、お兄ちゃんがいたんだ。
それって。
一つ上だったんだ。なんちゃって、嘘だよ
はあ。
冗談に。
She definitely didn't make it up. We just saw a quick glimpse of a flashback of an older guy, again, who sounds and is very similar looking as Izumi, although the full face wasn't revealed. So she definitely has an older brother. Something happened to him, maybe he died. Maybe there was a car accident, maybe some sort of situations. But something definitely happened to her older sister. And that's why I think she feels comfortable with Izumi, aside from Hori. Yeah, right? So that's why I think she maybe wanted to share, but didn't feel quite comfortable sharing because it's a very intimate detail, especially if something tragic happened to the brother.
決まってんじゃん。
One more thing, also, and when she was saying that because you're good at taking care of other people, we saw the camera zooming into Izumi's eyes, and we saw his pupils kind of dilate, which suggests another mysterious, unrevealed family trauma or situations with Izumi. Maybe Izumi also had a sibling or siblings, but then something happened to them. Again, this is entirely baseless, but I don't know. Maybe his parents became neglectful because one of their kids died, and then that kind of changed the entire dynamic. Because according to statistics, anytime a married couple loses a child, 60% of marriages end up in a divorce when there is a loss of a child. That's extremely high. That's more than 50%. Let me say that again. More than half of married couples will get a divorce, and their marriages will dissolve when there's a loss of a child because of the unimaginable psychological distress, distraught, grief, and it does spill over and unfortunately impacts a lot of relationships because guilt, shame, they're blaming themselves. A lot of married couples will blame each other for the loss of the child. Maybe I could have done better. Maybe you could have done something more. Maybe we could have done something better. And that guilt erodes. It will eat you away. And that's why a lot of married couples don't make it when they lose a child. Maybe that's what happened to Izumi. But anyway, I got carried away. All that to say, there's something going on with Izumi and maybe other siblings because his eyes kind of dilated.
ケーキありがとう。じゃあね。
そうだ。またケーキ食べに来ていいぞ。
Aww. See? Izumi defies all the tropes and stereotypes of a single child. He's super considerate. And he's saying that because he relates. I think he glimpsed and resonated with Suara's loneliness because her tone, her voice changed. When she's like, just kidding, because she definitely sounded more low. And I think Izumi, because of his own trauma, I think he has this relatability. That's why I think he saw her. I think he saw her for who she really is. That loneliness, that sadness. And that's why he's like, hey, feel free to come over anytime. Extremely generous, extremely kind of Izumi. Very, very kind.
そう、お隣の澤田さんの上の男の子はかわいそうだったわね。
Oh,
学校も
called
違
it.
ったから。確か去年の
Oh,
いつだったかしら。
that was
お隣
close.
お兄ちゃん。
You see, Izumi asked her mom as soon as she came home about the neighbor because, again, I told you, she sees her or he sees her. He knows something happened. That's why he asked. Because if he genuinely believed her saying that it's just a joke, why would he bring it up? So the fact that he brought it up to his mom means he had an inkling. Second thing, where did his mom come from? As soon as I was suspecting and, headcanoning Izumi's background. The mom shows up for the first time, and she seems very nice. She seems very present. Maybe all my analysis and conjecture for Izumi's attachment and backgrounds were wrong. I guess time will tell.
澤田さん誰待ってんですか？
友達。
嘘つけよ。
あ、宮村のくせに何なの？
I'd argue Suwada wasn't just waiting for Hori. I think she was also waiting for Izumi. Two reasons. One, nice gesture of cake last night. And two, I think she feels more comfortable, and I think she learned about his genuine kindness. That's why, and I could 100% see this for the, progression of this episode or the progression of the show. I think Suwada is going to grow attachments with Izumi, and I think Izumi might be like a surrogate, unofficial older brother to Suwada. Just like Sota growing attachment with Izumi. You see that? Sota felt that generosity, that kindness, that older sibling vibe from Izumi right away, which started all this romance, dating, and everything that happens with Hori. And she also felt that. That's why she said what she said to Izumi last night. And I could see Suwada kind of going through the same parallel process as Sota did to grow more fond of Izumi and eventually growing attachments. And yeah, like unofficial siblinghood.
ねえ今暇？ちっちゃいね1年生。あれ黙っちゃった怖い？怖くないよね。ねえ何か喋りなって。下の名前だけでいいからさ教えてって。
She can go ham. Oh, what happened?
そろそろ帰る。ああ、そうする？
そうしよっか。
There's so many coward. I almost cussed, dude. Forgive me. I have to say this. So many in this show, dude. What kind of cowards? Freaking a group of 3 approaching a lower classmates? When there's dating and taking a shot consensually, there's no power in numbers. You do it one-on-one like a real man. They're like coercing her. They're intimidating her, right? And obviously that's why Izumi showed his side glare and they walked away. But you see, immediate opportunity where Izumi showed up again, emotionally and even physically. I think over time, I could 100%, or nothing is 100% since even condom is 99.9% success rate. I'm 99.9% sure Izumi's going to fill in that void for Suwada in terms of emotional safety, psychological safety, and almost like a chosen family. Since not all families by blood. If anything, I'd argue in some cases, when your blood-related families don't show up for you, chosen family by choice can even be stronger and more resilient. And I'm sure that's going to happen between these two.
よか考えてただけなのに。
Just the glare was
そうだ
enough.
さ男の人が苦手なの。
ちょっと。
俺も男なんだけどな。
堀先輩遅いな。
やっぱりかよ。
お待たせ。
One more comment. I think Suwada is afraid of girls. Or afraid of guys. And I think Suwada has a crush on Hori, which is a female. I don't think it's actually romantic. I think it's like more of an attachment struggle with the loss of her brother. I think it's a grief response. I think she has grown intolerable and more allergic towards guys with whatever accident that happens and with the loss of her brother. And it sounds like the sister or Suwada is on ongoing grieving process. And there's a lot of unprocessed grief for Suwada. And I think that's why she is intimidated / doesn't like guys. Again, I don't know the full details, but based on the interaction, the dynamic, I could definitely see that it's related to the loss of her brother in some way.
堀さん家の風呂入ったことあるんだよね。
何よ。私も入る。
ダメだ。
She's lonely.
いない？
ダメ。明日返すんだから。
俺ホラーとか苦手なんだよね。
いや、実は俺も苦手で。
しかも娘が実の父に殺人を企てるシリーズなんだよ。
堀さん。
Also, I'm not going to go too much into this since that could be another 20-minute yapping and video by itself. For anyone watching, I encourage you guys to look up the psychology behind people who enjoy horror movies. Because I also love watching scary movies by myself. In high school and even in middle school, I used to watch scary movies by myself with lights off, with my blanket on, at midnight for that dopamine. Because I receive massive dopamine spike whenever I get scared and jump scared and whenever there's like a scary elements going on. And of course, not everyone's the same. It's a personality trait and even genetics. Anyway, look up the psychology behind people who enjoy horror movies. It's very interesting. There's a lot about actually personality type, traits, sense of safety, psychology, like psyche.
これって面白
Fascinating
い
topic.
やばい。超主人公に共感できるんですけど。
ダメかもしんない。
Is that Hori?
このまま父はタバコを買ってくる。探さないでくれ。
宮村ってさ、
They're alone.
私に何もしてこないよね。
He kissed you. Oh, he never makes his moves aside from stealing her candy, aka that first kiss. However long ago was that?
何か
Oh,
して
we see the double, the shadow editing again. Then being shy, right? Feeling embarrassed. Oh, dude, I think I see why Hori is always watching scary movies with Izumi. Remember when Izumi was first over? They watched like what, 13 series of scary movies? Yes, obviously the most obvious is Hori enjoys scary movies because she has that personality type, again, based on the psychology. But the deeper reason is do you guys know why do new couples love watching scary movies? It's the perfect opportunity. It's intimacy by design. What do you do when you get jump scared? Ah! Ooh! Ee! Oh, sorry for shaking. What do? Ah! You jump and you get closer to your other half, your significant other. I think that's why Hori's been watching scary movies with Izumi at home. She's trying to create intimacy by design by encouraging Izumi to maybe put his arms around her, but Izumi's the one that gets scared and Hori doesn't really get scared. So maybe Hori needs to put her arm around Izumi. Just like the dad running away to buy cigarettes because he got scared. But that makes sense. I think she was hoping for him to make more moves because he's over all the time. And with all the testosterone and you know what. But what can we say? Izumi's a wholesome guy.
自分から言っておいてすごい照れてる
Aww. They're so cute. They're so cute together.
堀さんが言う何かって何
Ooh. Consensual move, obviously. Steal my candy. Ooh! Ooh! What a cock block. Yo, what a cock block. Yo, she's gonna be pissed. She's gonna be pissed.
何もしかしていいところだった
Yo. Dang, the dad is fast. I mean, he's gone through all this, obviously, but he knew he cock blocked. The cock block. But yo, that move? Where did Izumi learn his moves from? It's such a silky, smooth move, like putting his hands on Hori's face and approaching. I thought I was watching a K-drama scene, right? Such a romantic scene. Yeah, where did Izumi learn his moves from? Did he have any girlfriends before Hori? No way, right? Isn't Hori his first girlfriend? Has he been researching and studying on ChatGPT how to make the first move?
京介を映画のストーリーと同じにしてやりたい。
The chair scene.
ホラー映画連続3本トイレ休憩なし。
Well, we know who's wearing the pants in the households. Hori. Hori has all the leverage and all the power. Anyway, I yapped over for an hour and 7 minutes. Hope you guys enjoy my in-depth yapping. As always, thanks for tuning in. Love this show. I think we are halfway mark. I believe there's 12 episodes. Anyway, as always, remember, you matter, you are worthy. Till next week. Peace.